Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Sean Christopher Miller, 24B146046A.
Sure, what needs to be after Sean Miller, he's approaching, so Jane comes up for sentencing.
Ma'am, you can come up here. Are you the victim?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your name, sir?
Sean Miller?
All right, so let me just recap here. I'm gonna ask you to go right over to that microphone, ma'am. That is a microphone. It doesn't look like it, over on the jury box there. All right, so on January 30th, 25, your name, please?
Patricia Bender.
All right, so you're gonna have to remind me on this. Were you his lawyer on March
Judge, I
30th?
think I've represented Mr. Miller maybe 3 or 4 times now, but the first few times he was still in custody serving a sentence in Macomb County. But the last time we were here, he was present in person. He's pled guilty to the violation long ago. The issue is he owes the victim a substantial amount of restitution. I think it's in the $5,000 range.
Right, so let me recap. January 30th, 25, he pled guilty to failure to report to probation, failure to complete intensive outpatient treatment, failure to attend the court work program, failure to report to probation within 24 hours of release. He pled guilty to all of those. I set a sentencing date on February the 18th of 25. He came back. Well, actually, he didn't come back. March 31 of 25, it looks like when I said I was going to enter the conviction, and he told me he was getting a job and he was to get back in treatment. For that to be scheduled, and that's where we are with it. So tell me where he is with everything. And I revoked the status and entered the conviction, by the way.
And so he has a job, he's working Quality Inn right now, and I'm not sure how much the court remembers about the situation. But Mr. Miller had no criminal record till he was about 56 years old. He had a surgery, got addicted to pain medication, and then at that time being an opioid addict with that full-blown problem, started stealing and that sort of thing. And that's why he ended up with these other cases, and he was in custody when this came about.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to need Emily in here on this. Okay.
And so since we saw the court last, and I know the court wants to get the restitution to the victim, and Mr. Miller does as well, he has a place to live. He's at that address on Monroe on 2nd Avenue. I put a new phone number on the file for him. Now his new job is he's making $13 an hour, but he is.
Slow down 1 second. Where does it show his new address? Where did you write
The
that?
address is the same as the one on the file. It's not a new address. It's that 2nd Avenue address that's on the file card. Phone number, and I think I put a sticky note on the file with the new phone number.
I see. All right, go ahead.
So he is a truck driver by trade, but right now he's just getting back on his feet. He's got a place to stay and a job. He's got to get a ticket paid, and then he can have his CDL back, go back to work as a truck driver, at which time he'll be in a better position to make the kind of income he's going to need to pay this restitution. He's also made contact with Harbor Light for intensive outpatient treatment. They're supposed to call him today, and he's prepared, if they don't call him today, to follow up with a call with them tomorrow and make sure that he gets in treatment. What I'm going to be asking the court to do in this case is to keep a revolving set of maybe 30-day reviews with Mr. Miller to make sure we make progress, and then gets to the point where he can actually make a payment plan to make restitution and get this restitution paid.
I need a probation order, please. All right. What would you like to say, Mr. Miller?
Just that I'm trying, Your Honor. Since I last saw you when I had basically nothing, I've gotten back into a place to live. I've gotten myself a cell phone. I got a job just so that I can have something.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I've got myself employed, phone, contacted Harbor Lights. Making all the steps I can to try to feed Your Honor.
Your name?
Emily Casino.
All right, can you give me a breakdown of what he's done and not done as of now?
He really doesn't have anything done from the initial order. I just heard him mention treatment. I haven't gotten anything yet, but I can certainly reach out to Harbor Lake today to get proof that he enrolled there. But he still has, obviously the treatment remaining, the court work program days, his 5 days community service. We would have to get him enrolled in testing.
Ma'am, spell your last name for me again.
Bender, B as in boy, E-N-D-E-R.
Why have you ignored me so much, sir?
I was incarcerated for 3 months and then.
I know, but I placed you on probation. Now listen to me. I placed you on probation back in July of 24. This is April. That means there's 9 months that have transpired. Why have you been ignoring me the entire time?
All I can say is when Your Honor first ordered me, I was still under the spell of addiction
And you think you're done with that now?
oh, yes, sir. Like I said, I did 90 days in Monroe, so I got clean there and haven't used since, I used one since, but definitely have changed my outlook on it, my pattern on it.
Remind me, how did this, I could go back and look, but just to make things easier, how did he take this much money from you again?
He was my cousin's boyfriend for a couple of years. He and my cousin had access to my house, taking care of my dog when I was gone. And I'm not sure how many occasions, but when I was gone, he stole jewelry from me, bought it to various pawn shops in the area. He did the same with my sister, and there was a case against him in Beverly Hills, Michigan, for the same theft. I ended up getting most of my jewelry back, I believe, and I had to pay over $4,500 to buy back my own jewelry that he stole. It's been over a year, I've yet to see a penny. I don't think I ever will, to be honest with you, the way we're going.
Can I see the sentence report? You're going to pay her, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're going to pay her, you're gonna do 90 days. Period. The court has to find that somebody's failure to pay is not without their fault. And I have to tell you, I tell everybody that if you don't have the money, you can talk to me. That's enough for me. That is enough for me. If you won't come and give me the courtesy of talking to me when I tell you up front that I will give you an extension no matter how many times we have to do it, I could sleep tonight if I gave you 90 days right now. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't have any idea what you're thinking. Well, you're not trying. Wait a minute. You're not trying. I don't know how somebody that was sentenced in July that didn't show up here at all, when it's April now, that didn't do any of the things they were supposed to do. I don't know how you can tell me you're trying.
Judge, all I can say, I got involved in this in February. And that was back when he was still in Monroe County, and I think he was in custody for 3 of the hearings before he finally got out. And he had another lawyer who was in contact with on the Beverly Hills matter, who I also was able to get in contact with. And as long as I've been involved, he's been consistent about everything. He hasn't denied any of this. He's taken responsibility, and he's always indicated his intent to get back on his feet and make these restitution payments. And we just need time for him to do that. He was originally sentenced, I think, July of 24.
Correct.
So I think there still is time for him to be on probation, for the court to keep jurisdiction over him and keep him on track to do this.
He doesn't seemingly want to work.
He's working now and.
I heard you
he's
there.
Looking to get the kind of work, and as I said, he's not like a lifetime criminal. This happened to him, you know, in his mid-50s.
I know, I get it. He had a theft offense in Washington only in 92, but he did have, I think, another flee and elude. After.
Fleeing and elude is why I was in Monroe, and it was because I was running from your charges. Since I've gone to jail, Your Honor, I've completely changed my thinking, my way of wanting to take care of this. I want to get it done. I want to please the court, Your Honor. I can pay her back. It's just that prior to going to jail, I was still under addiction and not listening to anybody, but I'm getting everything straightened out now and getting back to work. I've got more interviews for better paying jobs. I just took what I could get so I could at least show Your Honor that I had a job when I showed up there, and a phone and a place to stay.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I just, he wasn't honest with, his issues with substance abuse at the initial screening. But, since talking with him through this, I do think he is being honest with himself and wants to get help. So hopefully he'll be successful this time around. 14
months probation. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law or ordinance. If you change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no marijuana. You're to submit to chemical testing, PBTs, and ETGs as follows. We're starting over. I expect you to test. You don't test, that's a violation. Weekly for 2 months. If you're clean, bi-weekly for 2 months. If you're clean, I'll revert it to monthly. Kratom, poppy seeds, and CBD oils are prohibited. Consuming food or other items containing those substances will be deemed a violation. You're to attend AA, NA twice a week until you're in an intensive outpatient treatment program. We're going to hand you another form. You have, every time you go, and you have to go in person, you have to have that form signed, and you have to bring that to court with you. Once you get into intensive outpatient treatment, you no longer have to attend AA or NA. You're to have no contact with the victim, Patricia Bender. You have to obtain a high school diploma or a GED. You never did that, did you?
I do have my GED. I've had it for years. Had it since I was in the military.
Okay. Let me just double check that. Oh, yes, you did. Okay, good enough. Obtain and maintain employment, provide proof, no contact with Patricia Bender. You cannot write, phone, see, text, email, or communicate with her, or have anybody else do any of those things for you or on your behalf. In addition, you are not to enter or go near. You're not to enter or go near. You still live there, right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Manistee Lane in Brownstown. You're not to enter or go near there. Fines 100, cost 200, 75 victims' rights fee $50, justice assessment $60, screening fee $70, and court work program fees, because you're going to do 2 days on the court work program, and you're also going to do 5 days of community service. I'm going to give you all the way until July the 15th to complete your community service. That's 40 hours. 2 days court work program. There's a $35 a day charge for that, for a total of 70. Lisa, I want you to make sure my math is correct here. I did it pretty quickly. I have $4,500 in restitution, 100 fines, 200 costs, 75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment, $60 screening fee since he's never paid for it, $280 in probation fees, $4,500 in restitution to Patricia Bender, which will pay through the court. My math's coming up with $53.35. If you violate, your probation could be revoked. You could be incarcerated for 90 days. You have 21 days to appeal, and you have 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal if you cannot afford one. Do you understand that? All right, you're going to set up your own payment plan. I'm going to let you do that. It's got to be reasonable. All this has to be paid within 14 months, every single dime of it. So I'm going to let you set up a payment plan. We're not going to do pay all of it by July 1st. We're gonna set you up on a weekly or bi-weekly payment plan, and you're gonna set it, and you're gonna tell me how much you can afford to pay.
Judge, this first check from the new job is gonna be May 16th. So,
Does it get paid weekly or bi-weekly?
bi-weekly.
Okay?
And so, I guess I'm contemplating something with a start date of say July 1st, and then make the payments evenly from then until the end of probation.
Beginning July the 3rd, how much can you pay bi-weekly? Keep in mind, this has to be paid within 14 months.
Judge, we don't know how much he's gonna be making. Hopefully he's gonna have better employment. He's already got an interview for a better job than the one he's got. But I think if we split it, if we divide it, that's, a year of that.
125 bi-weekly, beginning July 3rd. All money due by June the 30th of 26. If you need more time, you're gonna come and talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, that's the best I can do.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. Just one question.
Sure.
If he fails to meet the payment obligations, what will happen?
I have to find fair to pay was not without your fault. Was not without their fault. Yes, I believe that if scrutinized, somebody could tell, I could easily argue, anybody could easily argue that when a judge tells somebody, if you don't have the money, come talk to me, as I have him, and I'm telling you again, on or before the due date, that establishes fault on their part. Am I willing to go that far? No. Am I gonna make sure that he's working at it and that he's trying? Absolutely. But I can't sit here and hypothetically deal with a situation that hasn't come before me yet. I'm gonna do everything I can to get your money. He's gonna understand that he's going to have to work at this. He took the money, he's gonna pay it back. And that's the best I can tell you. If you violate, your probation could be revoked, you could be incarcerated for 90 days. Do you understand all that? I'm telling you again, you don't have the money, call the court, we'll go on Zoom or come in here on or before the due date. It's time for you to pick it up, sir.
Judge, I have one question.
Sure.
You had assessed 12 hours of community service at his show cause back in October 15th. Do you still want him to do those on top of?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I just want to make sure, thank you.
Okay? Thanks. Good luck. I'll do everything I can, Ms. Bender. Thank you for coming.